All right, so today we're diving into something a little different.
Okay.
It's a passage from 2 Kings, chapter 12, verses 1 through 21.
Gotcha.
And it's all about this story of the temple being restored back in King Joash's day.
Right.
Now, we're not just going to rehash the story, though. We want to kind of pull out what this old story, what it can teach us about leadership and about community.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, we've got this ancient example of a sacred space literally falling apart.
Yeah.
And then we see how a leader and the people step up to tackle the problem. And what's really interesting here is not just that they fixed it.
Right.
It's how they went about it.
Yeah.
I think that's where we can find some pretty timeless principles.
Okay, so we've got this temple that's in bad shape. And King Joash with the high priest Jehoiada, they decide, okay, something's got to be done. And the way they chose to fund this restoration is pretty telling.
Okay.
They set up a chest by the altar with a hole in it for donations. It wasn't like some hidden account or anything. It was right there out in the open.
I think what's really striking there is that visibility.
Yeah.
You know, they put this donation box right in a public space. Everyone could see it.
Yeah.
Overseen by the religious authorities. It's like they built in this inherent accountability.
Right. Right.
It makes you wonder, what if every organization today, even today, had that kind of transparency when it came to money?
Yeah.
I mean, think about the impact that would have on trust.
That's a good point. And the text actually mentions specifically that the money they collected was used for the repairs.
Right.
It wasn't siphoned off, it wasn't misused.
Exactly.
And that really shows just how important it is for leaders to be responsible with resources, whether it's money or anything else.
Absolutely.
It makes you think about the leaders in your own life.
Yeah.
Do their actions build that kind of trust through their integrity?
Yeah, I mean, just consider how that kind of transparency builds confidence.
Right.
When people see that things are being handled well, they're much more likely to want to contribute.
Right.
So for our listeners out there, maybe this is a reminder about the power of transparency.
Yeah.
If you're ever in a leadership position, even if it's just a small community project.
And that leads us to the other big takeaway from this story.
Okay.
This idea of collective responsibility.
Right.
It wasn't just the king and the high priest making this happen. The people, they brought their gifts to that chest. It shows that taking care of something important, it wasn't just the leader's job.
Right.
It was everyone's.
It really was. And there's a powerful message there in that shared action. When a community participates, they own it.
Yeah.
It's not just about giving money.
Right.
It's about feeling invested in the outcome.
Yeah.
Think about projects you've been involved in. Did that shared effort lead to a stronger bond? A better result?
Yeah, it totally does. I mean, and it makes you think that contributing, it's not always about the money. It's about what else you can bring.
Exactly.
Your skills, your time, your energy. How can you really engage in your own communities in ways that go beyond just writing a check?
That's a good question. And maybe this is also a nudge to think about how we can all encourage broader participation.
Yeah.
In the things that we care about.
Right.
Even something as simple as involving younger folks in volunteering.
Yeah.
That can instill this value of shared responsibility early on.
Yeah, so we're looking at this ancient story, this moment in history, but we see these two huge ideas at play.
Right.
This need for integrity and leadership, and the amazing power that comes when people take ownership and they work together.
Powerful stuff. And this brings us to a final thought for you listening.
Yeah.
Think about your own life, your own spheres of influence. Where can you step up, lead with integrity, and build something meaningful alongside others? How can you foster that sense of shared responsibility in the spaces you inhabit?
Good stuff. Food for thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
You got it.
We'll see you next time.